Clean movement is one of the most satisfying things to watch in Valorant. It's also one of the most important mechanical aspects of your game to develop. No amount of high-level raw aim will be enough to cover up bad movement. But how do we practice our movement? With this video, I hope to provide you with a comprehensive answer to that question. Not only am I going to show you the exact drills I give my private students, but I will also show you how to objectively measure and track your own current skill level. This will make the path abundantly clear for any avid learners who wish to take their game to the next level. To make sure we're performing the correct inputs, it is essential that we can review footage of our practice. I highly recommend using OBS combined with the OBS Input Overlay plugin. This will allow you to see exactly which keys you are pressing during your practice. This will be very important as I begin to explain how the following drills are meant to be performed. Dead zoning is a technique that allows you to shoot accurate bullets while changing directions. Notice that I always have exactly one of my movement keys pressed at all times while performing this mechanic. While your agent is changing directions, there is a small window slightly after you press the opposite movement key where you can fire an accurate bullet. This term is frequently confused with counter-strafing, which will not be covered in this video. Whether or not you counter-strafe is personal preference, and many pro-caliber players do not counter-strafe. The first drill to practice dead zoning revolves around this pole. First, wiggle back and forth at the pole, and then begin trying to shoot bullets on the right side of the pole. Make sure the bars on your shooting arrow graph are all orange before proceeding to the next step. Now, try to shoot bullets on either side of the pole as you change directions. Still, do not aim. Just shoot on either side of the pole until you can consistently shoot within the accuracy window. To measure our skill in dead zoning, we're going to use the bot practice. When the bots spawn on the left side, we're going to over-aim and start moving to the right. Then, we'll change our direction to the left and try to fire a bullet within the window on the bot's head. We will do the opposite for bots that spawn on the right side of the range. If you can get at least 20 bots on this exercise, then move on to the next tier. At the next tier, do the same exercise but on medium difficulty. If you can consistently score above 20 on this, then you are considered proficient enough at dead zoning to move on. On hard difficulty, it is too difficult to quickly react to the bot's spawn location. Instead, move in a consistent direction, and when the bot spawns, change directions and try to shoot the bot during the accuracy window. How high are you able to score? Bursting is the bread and butter of extended gunfights in competitive Valorant. Bursting in isolation is not a difficult mechanic. However, the best Valorant players are able to cover significantly more ground while still bursting the same amount of bullets as a lower rated player. For practicing bursting, I highly recommend using a metronome. We will initially set our metronome to 80 BPM and we will move between these two highlighted lines. Our goal is to reach the line, shoot 2 bullets, and then quickly move to the next line and shoot our next 2 bullets as the metronome ticks. Our target is 110 BPM. Once you can reach this BPM while still moving completely between the 2 lines, you can move on. Do not cut corners here. You must be able to move completely across this line and touch the 2 lines before you move on. Otherwise, you will be skimping yourself and you will not be performing the mechanic as quickly as you should be. At the final level of practicing our bursts, we will begin to implement dead zoning between our bursts. You should be able to pick any pattern before you begin and comfortably perform it. Here in this clip, I'm performing burst, dead zone, burst, burst, dead zone, burst, burst. One very common fighting pattern in Valorant is to swing a corner, dead zone a single bullet, and then enter a bursting pattern. This keeps you more mobile than bursting on your first shot.
One kill remaining.
As you can see, there is not a one-size-fits-all approach to gunfights at the highest level. However, I hope this has opened your eyes to various ways that gunfights can be taken. Here, we can see a master of air strafing. Look how the world bends to his will. Such majestic movement. The only word that comes to mind is captivation. Truly a mechanic to behold when applied properly. Can we really learn to move like this too? To correctly perform an air strafe, we must begin by running forwards. We must know which direction we plan on turning before we jump. When we jump, we'll continue to hold W and we'll begin to hold said direction on the keyboard. While we hold this additional direction, be it A or D, we will smoothly move our mouse in that direction as well. If we're holding A, we will move to the left, and if we're holding D, we will move to the right. There is a maximum speed at which you can move the mouse before your character fails to follow the air strafe. Try to develop a comfortable understanding of where this limit is by practicing strafing in 180-degree jumps in the range. I encourage you to consider binding jump to scroll wheel, as it is much easier to time the jump when you land because you can input multiple jumps at once. A fun air strafe bunny hop to practice for beginners is on Haven. You'll begin by jumping onto this first ledge and air strafing 180 degrees back towards the other side. Now, before you perform your final jump, you'll switch to your primary weapon and jump over the window while holding crouch mid-air so that your legs completely clear the window at full momentum. For intermediate players, I recommend you learn how to bunny hop back and forth on top of a small box like this one on Haven. Additionally, there's some nice ledges over here on Haven that can let you practice your technique. Once you've mastered this technique, the sky is the limit.